Well, welcome, and even better, welcome back. And if you are welcome back, thanks. This is Domain Dave for CheapWineFinder.com. And we're doing what we always do. We have a companion podcast to go for a wine review we wrote up on the CheapWineFinder.com website. I was going to say we have 15 years of reviews there, but I got rid of like 5 years of them because you don't want a $10 wine from 15 years ago. It's vinegar at this point. So, but we keep it up to date. We do at least 3 wines a week. And this week we did a interesting wine and kind of fun too. It's 19 Crimes Snoop Dogg Cali Blanc 2021. Cali Blanc is Sauvignon Blanc. And, because Snoop's from Cali. And, but there's a history there. Back in the 60s, Robert Mondavi, who's basically the godfather of California wine, decided to make really upscale Sauvignon Blanc. And back then, Sauvignon Blanc was the cheap stuff. Not that we dislike cheap stuff, but it was back then. Cheap stuff back then was really bad stuff. And he's making high end because Sauvignon Blanc is the white wine of Bordeaux. Bordeaux Blanc is Sauvignon Blanc, a little bit of Semillon. So he tried to make high-end stuff and no one would buy it. So he changed the name to Fumé Blanc, which doesn't seem like that much of an improvement if you ask me. And he sold it out. People went gangbusters for it. And over the years, they quit calling it by the fake name. It's back to Sauvignon Blanc. And now Sauvignon Blanc's one of the big wines of the world. So I'm going to take a sip of this one. This isn't one of those kind of wines you get a lot of technical notes for, so I don't know much about where the grapes came from. But the website, and I got links to everything on the review, says this is a medium sweet wine, which is kind of unusual in this day and age because sweet wines are not that popular. They're there, but they're not that popular. Though when I first got into wine, 20 years ago, the first wines I liked were sweet German wines. I mean, they were the first ones that had enough fruit that I understood what was going on. And I haven't had one of those in a long time, but they're good starter wines. And this one's sweet, but here's the thing about sweetness in wine. If you have enough sugar and enough acid, they kind of cancel each other out. So this wine has lip-smacking acidity, and the fruit it tastes full, but it doesn't taste super sweet. It tastes more like biting into a peach or a pear. Yeah, that's sweet, but it's not sugar sweet. So this wine, even though it's medium sweet, and it does have rounded fruit flavors, it still has enough acidity to make it for me palatable, because I'm not really a fan of sweet wines, not anymore. I started out that way, but I'm not anymore. And now here's the other thing, because we're calling it Cali Blanc, and who used to be Fumé Blanc is part of California history. And this is California wine. 19 Crimes is usually Australian wines, and 19 Crimes are the 19 offenses that could get you deported from England to Australia in a prison ship. But the high-end Sauvignon Blancs from sweet wines from Bordeaux are Sauternes, and they can get very pricey, and that is sweet Sauvignon Blanc. So having a sweet Sauvignon Blanc isn't weird. I mean, it's actually okay. I mean, it's the good stuff. Now, this is a fun wine. This is Snoop Dogg's Cali Blanc 2021 19 Crimes, but it's very well made. I'm going to take another sip. Full of flavor. The sugar content, it does kind of give it some weight, though the alcohol is only 12.9, which kind of balances that out too. So it's actually a kind of an interesting wine. It lists for $15 on 19 Crimes website, but I think you can find it most places $10, $11, $12. And it's not your typical Sauvignon Blanc. This ain't something you're going to find in New Zealand or the Loire Valley or Chile or anywhere else. This is kind of unique, and it tastes good. And it does have a history. A weird name for Sauvignon Blanc? Yeah, that's California. sweet. Hey, that's Sauternes. And it's not, like I said, the acidity. When I taste it, I notice the lip smacking acidity more than I notice the sweetness level. So someone had a deft hand at making this wine, because it's not always that simple just to balance those things out. So, and Snoop Dogg has a whole line of wines. He has a rosé, which you can hopefully find just in time for Mother's Day, because I think Mom wants Snoop Dogg rosé. He has a sparkling wine that doesn't taste like any other. I think it's Cali Gold. That one doesn't taste like any other sparkling wine I've had in a while. And that's a good thing. Anytime you can get something new, it's well made and new and tastes different, I like it. And he has a couple of red wines. It's got Cali. I think that Snoop Dogg's line of celebrity wines is maybe the best celebrity wines out there. I mean, there's some good ones, but most of them kind of are not happening. Like Dave Matthews has kind of stopped making his wine, and there's a couple other ones there that don't seem to be too vigorous on promoting their wines. I'm going to take another sip here, and then we're going to close it up. Yeah, I don't know. This is pretty good if you ask me. I'm looking forward to the next Snoop Dogg 19 Crimes wine. We got a sparkling wine for mimosas for Mother's Day coming up in the next wine. So keep it cheap, stay safe and warm. Here it goes between 80 and 40. But it's better than going between 0 and 20. So adios, keep it cheap, and we'll be talking to you in a couple of days. And keep your mind on your money and your money on your mind.